coming to you from the camper. So I'm going to share with you today how I'm going to sew in the camper. This is our basically test run. We're here up at Belknap for 5 days and we're doing a shakedown. We did a short one at Creekside just to see how the overall camper would that everything was working in the camper, but now this time we're really shaking it down for our fall Quilt Roadies trip. So stay tuned. So this is going to be my ironing station. The top of the stove has a glass cover, which I have a cutting board on, and I also, a food cutting board. But now I've put my Quilter's Cut and Press 2 by June Taylor. It has a cutting mat on one side and an ironing board on the other. And I have brought along my cordless iron. I did test it out in the beehive and it worked fantastic. So this is going to be great because when I go to iron, I don't have any cord to deal with. All I have to do is, whenever I'm done ironing a piece, to set it back on the dock. And that's going to be awesome. And there's my bud, my sewing room bud. He is hanging out with me here. And you can see this is one of the reasons why we chose this particular camp trailer. I absolutely love this rear living and big picture window where the view is just awesome. So I'm going to be sewing here. I've set up my little sewing machine. I've got my light and my project all ready. So let's see how it's going to go. So now we're on to the next step of my project in my Quilt Roadie project. I chose this sweet wall hanging by Joined at the Hip, Pumpkins for Sale. There it is right there. I had the kit in my pile of kits and projects that I've wanted to make, and I got it from Something to Crow About in Springfield, Oregon. And for those of you that have been around for a while, you know that on the last trip I was on the hunt for this particular iron as recommended on Instagram by Scott Hansen and Rob Appel, and I could not find it anywhere. Any quilt shop that I traveled to had never heard of it, and I got really close at Odegaard's in Flagstaff, but they were out of them. So ultimately, although I prefer to shop in a brick and mortar store, I did have to go to Amazon for that. And the thing that I like about it, and I love it at home, because I have always had a problem with where my plug is and where my iron is, and no opportunity to switch my room around. That would have caused a snowball effect. So the thing I love about it is no cord to worry about. And it stays hot for pretty long, and I have it set on steam. And then I'm just going to start working on these half square triangles, and you can see how perfect that is. The only thing with this iron is probably every few minutes you have to dock it back there just so it recharges itself, but I have no problems with that. I would rather not have to deal with the cord, and especially in the camper. So it has very good steam power. I can see myself doing all kinds of fusible stuff with this, which I'm excited about, and especially on the road. The plug comes from the base to the plug-in, and and it stays hot for a while, and it is very hot. I have it on high, and I have steam, and these half square triangles are absolutely perfect. So I have this 104 of these to press. It's going to get awful hot in here, and I'm not going to put you through that because I have to turn the air conditioner on to do it. But I got my pumpkins done, and I have 3 pumpkins, and I have my stitching done for my wool part of this project. And I did something that I've said before, and I did not even follow my own advice, is that whenever you're cutting a project for the road, always bring any leftover fabric you have from that project with you, in case you make a mistake or something. But for me, I now cannot get this project totally done till I get back to the base camp, the beehive, because I am missing only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of fabric that are like 1.5 by 2.5 inches. And I had a piece of fabric that came with this, and I was wondering, what's this for? I didn't read the pattern all the way through, so I left that fabric at home, and that is preventing me from putting this totally together on this trip, which is very irritating that I didn't follow the advice of someone who seems to know what they mean, and that is me. So there we have it. So I'm going to iron these, I'm going to do a little bit of sewing, and I am loving the setup in the new camper. Gee, sticking his tongue out at me through the window. Well, I think that this camper is the one that we should have chosen, because this sewing situation in this camper to me is by far even more enjoyable than the RV was. I love that although the table, when some of you saw the layout of the camper and saw the table, you said, how is she going to sew on that? Well, in fact, it has proven to be just perfect, because my featherweight isn't very big. And I'm at one end of the table, the featherweight fits perfectly, and G then has the other half of the table for his space, and And then I have all of this area on this bench seat next to me to lay out my project, whatever I'm working on, because there's no twisting or turning to get to the project. It's like all right there. And I just love that. I think that overall, although there is no perfect camper, and every camper or RV has to fit the person who wants to travel with it, I think we did pretty good with this one. We wanted something smaller. Bigger isn't always better. Bigger just has a different set of requirements, and for the type of camping we wanted to do, I think smaller worked out better for us. And we're heading out on our next Quilt Roadie trip in about 2.5 weeks, and it's a very exciting trip for us. We've been invited to attend the taping and to participate in the taping of the next season's quilt show, which means that what they do is they tape an entire season, all in a few days' time, and they have designers come in morning and afternoon and studio audiences, and it's going to be another adventure, kind of like another thing to see that I've never seen before. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the, we'll be there for a couple of days just because of our timeline, and I'll be sharing that with you. But it's going to be darn exciting. I've never seen a live television audience or taping, so this will be a new adventure for me. And after all, it has to do with quilting. So I did tell you that I didn't bring every piece of fabric for this project, which is just infuriating to me, because I could have finished this top had I brought those last pieces of fabric, but c'est la vie. I will be able to put the entire thing together at home, because I did save that fabric. And but please, when you travel and quilt, make sure you bring all the leftover pieces, because you might need them. Like me, I needed them. So mad at myself. I'm glad you got to see me sew, and to see that in fact I was able to sew in this little camp trailer, and I love it, and I can't wait for the next adventure. So I'm glad you're coming along. Thank you guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing too. It makes Google give me a penny towards my gas. And we want to make Google pay me. Talk to you later. Bye.